Had it, he was throwing it for a strike. He was throwing it in the dirt. You see here, and that lowered his ERA to 1.6. So Ben Brown has been lights out this year, coming out of the pen and his first two starts.
Yeah, we knew Ben Brown had dirty numbers. That knuckle curveball, the opposition, what do? They continue to stay out front and off balance. And once again, he lowered that ERA. Now it's a stingy 1.60. So Ben Brown continued to do what you do. He said that he was turning a whole bunch of lies into truths. But right now, he is a truth teller because he is one of the best in all of Major League Baseball. And the numbers, they speak volumes. Let's get to our insurance play of the day, presented by Insure on the Spot. And you know what it's all about. Have a glance at this. Ian Happ, swing, look, and walk. As we said, the first Cub to double-digit home runs, and this right here was absolutely squared up, wasn't it?
This is like a little cement mixer cutter up and in against Lopez. That was nasty. I mean, Happ had some good at-bats today, 2 for 3. Nice to see him drive the ball out of the ballpark, like you said, Cole, with his 10th home run of the year.
Absolutely. That was that little extra boost of insurance because if the Cubs, they needed something with Daniel Palencia out there on the hill, as JD said, to give him a little extra wiggle room. That pop from Ian Happ, that was it. And right now, Happer, he's catching up with the least talking about the W.
Ian, you lead off the 8th, knowing that you guys can use some insurance. What are you thinking in that at-bat?
I was a little late on the fastball, to be honest, and I got a pitch I could handle and put a really good swing on it. 3 at-bats right-handed today. To get in there left-handed and see it well enough is good.
You knew it was going to be a pitcher's duel going into this game. What can you say about the pitching effort from your squad?
Yeah, I mean, on our side, Benny did a great job, just all around the zone, and his stuff is elite. And then the bullpen, you know, Hope going 2 innings there was massive. The guys finishing it off. It just, you know, that's the effort we needed today, and the bats will wake up a little bit, but we scored enough today.
Enough today, and finally to finish the series with the win, the road trip with the win. What does it mean right now for this team?
Yeah, just to be able to come out of there with a win and take a little bit of momentum for getting back to Chicago, and the 3 with the White Sox will be great energy in the stadium, and so excited for it.
Happy flight.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that was the 24th win of the season when they have at least 1 home run. The Hapaneta.
I like it.
All right. Well, hopefully John Connor is not hot on the trail of Ian Happ. The Cubs, they're hot on the trail of being the best team in all of Major League Baseball right now. They sit right behind the Atlanta Braves as the second best squad in the senior circuit. But if they get those bats hot, they come back home, they go across to the south side, these next 3, they're going to be huge. We'll talk about that later, but you take a look at what they're doing right now. These Cubs getting back in that win column, this was big for their confidence.
Absolutely, and they needed it. And I think the biggest thing to take out of what Happ was saying right there is that momentum. You hop on the plane, you get ready, you come back, you're playing against the White Sox, you have a big series coming home. There's going to be a lot of roar in the stadium between these two teams. So, I mean, you take a look so far. I mean, even though the Cubs lost 4 in a row, they win this one. They're still 2.5 games up in the division, so you feel pretty good right now.
A 2.5 game cushion right now on Milwaukee and St. Louis. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati still
smiles on their faces
a little bit. That's right. It's going to be a nice flight home, but there will be no time to rest because the Pale Hose, they will be waiting in the wings. We'll let you know how this one unfolded. A 2-0 win in the one and get the W 2-0. Your final tally, and the Cubs just squeak out 1 more hit than those Atlanta Braves as they hand them just their 2nd shutout loss of the season. It's the Cubs' 3rd shutout victory of the campaign. They blanked Arizona as well as Cleveland. And Craig Counsell, he knows just how big wins like these are before you head back home.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just pitched really well tonight. And, you know, you can pick up everybody pitched really well tonight. So Ben started it off, and another really encouraging outing and important outing. From what Ben's done is both of his 2 starts, really, you know, something that I feel like we could build on and has given him a lot of confidence for sure. And then, you know, the 2, when Hobie gets 2 innings there, the game's kind of in order, and we got a shot to kind of do it the way we want to do it, and the guys did a great job.
Was there something in particular that you saw from Ben that you feel was important that we could build off of?
No, I mean, it was more of the same. It's just, there's just, you know, I really believe that he's added a couple pitches that it just gives the hitter something else to consider. And, you know, instead of like this or that, it's this or this or this. And that's a big difference.
Really, since the start of spring. I mean, he just seems so mentally clear and embracing whatever path is in front of him. How much beyond just like the adding to his pitch mix do you just feel like that mental clarity, embracing of whatever's in front of him has helped him?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good question. That's the question of whether it's the confidence or the the pitches that are kind of telling him that he's got more to offer a hitter. And I think it's probably a little bit of both. But I think the added pitches are giving him confidence. I think that's probably the biggest deal. And he doesn't ever feel boxed into a count or a situation, and I think that's really important. And that I think that adds to the confidence.
The added insurance that Ian gave you guys, how important was that?
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, when you're up 1-0, things can happen in a game. So that extra run, I think it means a lot for Jacob Webb. I think it means a lot for Palencia. It just makes the game feel different. So big hit. I mean, you're going against one of the best pitchers in the game. He's tough to score against. Took advantage of a mistake on their part and got us a run to get a lead. But he's just tough to score on. We had a nice couple base hits in the first inning, and the strikeout is always in play with him. So it's you get a man on third, and it's still not a guaranteed run or a expected run. So it's tough to score against, and really we pitched our way ahead of Sale tonight. That's hard to do.
No, go ahead.
What did you see from Miguel and Mario back in the lineup and stuff?
Well, I think the important thing is he caught a great game. We pitched 5 guys tonight, and when you're going through 5 guys, that's not easy. It's not one guy kind of cruising through the course of the game. It's figuring out 5 guys and 5 pitch mixes, and that's where the catcher probably doesn't get enough credit. So I think from that perspective, Miguel did a heck of a job.
You've been forced to mix and match late in games. How impressed were you with the way Webb responded in high leverage situations?
Yeah, I would probably say I was most happy of how Phil Maton pitched tonight. I think when you have a bad night, and that's being a major league reliever, a high leverage reliever, you got to go out the next night and get those same outs. And Phil went out and got those same outs. And then Webby had to go through the top of the order and had to go through, Baldwin, Olson, and really, really good hitters. I think Jacob's, I talked about this. We had Jacob in probably a role that he shouldn't have been in when we had a lot of injuries. And now that he's kind of, I think, we got a little more healthy and he's in some spots he should be in, I think we're seeing what Jacob Webb can bring to the table.
Is it nice to see those triple digits in the ninth inning?
Yeah, I mean, I was tonight was the night I thought we were going to see that. We've had Daniel's had a season where, we haven't had many opportunities. The opportunities came when he was injured. The save opportunities in games came a lot when he was injured. So I was pretty sure that's what we were going to see tonight.
I understand with Maton it's matchup based, but when you have an opportunity after a guy has a rough night to be able to send him back out there, how much do you enjoy that? Do you love the confidence or just kind of get him back up there?
It's just what being a major league reliever is about. You're going to have a night where you fail in the big spots, and it doesn't mean anything. It means you got to go out and do it the next night. So that's part of being a major league reliever, and that's part of what we signed Phil for is to get those outs. None of these guys are going to do it every single time they go out there, but it's important that you do it on the night. On the night after you don't do it, when you get it done, I think it feels a little better for sure.
Time to check in with some professional grade plays. Craig, presented by your Chicagoland.
I saw he wasn't throwing as much as that little frisbee curveball as he was last night. And I think for him to bounce back mentally after giving up 2 runs last night, he kind of went after hitters and was attacking them. He wasn't really trying to throw the slow stuff. I mean, you saw there even, I know he was only throwing 89, 90 miles an hour, but he was elevating that fastball. And when you have in the back of your mind that he's possibly going to throw that slow stuff, it speeds that fastball up. And the hitters were late on it. You saw Austin Riley foul off a couple that weren't even close, and then he ends up striking him out with a fastball elevated.
Yeah, if you're a reliever, unless your nickname is spin rate, the one thing you never want to hear associated with your off-speed stuff is a frisbee curveball. Phil Maton, job well done tonight, getting the fellas back in the win column, a 2-0 W. Exclamated by that man, some gasolina. Yep, smells like pure fire. A 2-0 W. We're going to tell you more about his stuff. 101, that plays in any planet, in any universe, but it's right here. But that just shows you how good this team is. Anyone, when their number is called, they go out there and they come through with the task, don't they?
Well, and it's tough, too. I think early on when he wasn't hurt, it was like they were kind of blowing teams out, right? So you don't get those opportunities, or you're bringing him in a situation where I think a couple times he came in where it was a tie game where they needed to hold him. And then, I mean, but closers don't like to come in those situations. And they don't like to come in when they just need to get an inning in either, when they're, the team's ahead.
A 4-run lead, you're coming in, you can't recreate that closer juice, can you?
So that's why Counsell was saying he expected to see that 101, 102 tonight because he had those juices flowing. He had a 2-0 lead. He knew he needed to go in there and strike some guys out, and that's exactly what he did.
And it also takes a special brand of closer to come in and sometimes get a 4-out save or a 6-out save, because when you come out of the bullpen, the original juice that they have, that can't be recreated. And Daniel Palencia tonight, he only needed 3 outs to create that juice.
No, absolutely. I think ideally you'd like to just bring him in for that one inning, but sometimes if you need to, we've seen a couple times where Mason Miller's had to come in, and maybe they're not as effective when they have to get 6 outs. But I think for Daniel Palencia, he's one of those guys that kind of feeds off that adrenaline, right? I'd like to see him maybe, look, all these guys, I mean, I know it's even 101, 102, but a lot of guys can hit fastballs. I like to see him mix in that splitty a little bit just to kind of show it, throw it for a ball, and then go back to that fastball elevated.
Absolutely. Speaking of elevation, Ben Brown, he likes to elevate that fastball, and his confidence, it continues to go in the right direction, kind of seeing it grow just like Bruce Banner when his anger starts to bubble. He turns into the Incredible Hulk, and Ben Brown right now, he is turning into a top-line pitcher in all of Major League Baseball. 4 innings, just 1 hit, 0 earnings, the 7 punch-outs to 1 free pass. If you would have told anybody before this ball game outside of Cubs Nation that Ben Brown would battle toe-to-toe with Chris Sale, a lot of people, they would ask questions. Ben Brown, however, he's all about that confidence, and right now he's rolling. Ben, how'd you feel?
Yeah, I thought curveball execution was really good today. Faced a lot of lefties, so that's an issue of concern when the long ball is in play. And I thought the curveball was really good. I thought I mixed pitches up well. I think I made some good. I mean, my changeup was probably the worst it was all year, but I still threw it. I think that's also really encouraging. Especially I was kind of wrestling with him in the bullpen today. So honestly, that's a big win. That's a big win to know, like, when it's not there, I just gotta throw it. Threw a sinker to a lefty, threw strikes. Yeah, I mean, so a couple of mistakes. You see how quickly the game turn around when you give free passes out. So got to be better there.
What's giving you the confidence, like, say, even when the change isn't on, that you're just saying, I'm doing it?
I'm just a better pitcher when I can throw it. So got to figure it out. I worked hard to know the pitch. So it's cool. By the end of the night, you're getting good hitters to ground out with the pitch. It's really encouraging.
I mean, just watching your demeanor out there, like, they only put 2 base runners on him, but it seemed like as soon as that happened, you wanted the ball back right away and get going again. Like, did you feel that out there?
Yeah. There's something we kind of talked on before the game is they're a really good offense. How well can we slow the game down and execute pitches with runners on base? I think that's something that can get lost. It's the game speeds up and you start to miss pitches, but ultimately if you just keep making pitch after pitch after pitch against these really advanced hitters, results will come. They're not hitting 500 as a team. They're hitting 270. So just gotta keep making pitches.
The conviction that you're throwing your pitches with, do you think that's something that you had last year, or is it something you feel more?
Yeah, I definitely feel it. I think from last year's failures, it helps just to get to where I want to be. I think I did this last year sometimes too, and ultimately it's just been a lot of 10 years in professional baseball, so it's just a lot of experience relatively, maybe not in the big leagues, but just knowing myself and learning how to be a good pitcher and good teammate and stuff like that.
Is there an outing this year, and just the way that you talk about pitching, just like you're talking about, like throwing change. Like,
Yeah.
is there an outing where things clicked? Is in spring? Like, at what point did everything start feeling good?
I thought the Tampa Bay outing was really big for me. Caminero with runners on base. He was like a 6-2 game. Really big strikeout, confidence boost. Thought I threw the ball really well with the conviction. I think that was kind of the outing this year that I felt pretty good about myself. But yeah, there's just been accumulation of just bullpens and side work and the preparation. But yeah, I can kind of pinpoint. I feel like that was a good turning point for me this year.
Just the confidence boost?
Yeah, just knowing I can just get good hitters out. Yeah, I think it's just something the Cubs preach, and just throwing strikes and getting ahead. We have an incredible defense. Bushy playing the first game was great. You saw Dan and Nico doing their thing at the middle. Pete in center field is unreal, and not to mention the gold levers on the corners, and it's just like it doesn't stop. So yeah, it's just getting ahead is important. That's also with this offense. You don't want to fall behind. They're an ambush offense. They're going to capitalize on mistakes with the Braves. So.
Obviously, I think for enhances your arsenal, but
Yeah.
when you just describe like the defense behind you, how much is that giving you confidence, knowing that it plays into your team's strengths?
Yeah, there's a ton of gratitude for what they do out there, and you know that there's going to be hits that are turned into outs. So I mean, that ruins their batting average a little bit more when you know that there's the play Pete made the other night, the play Bushy made today, what Dan and Nico do at the middle, Happer and left, Seiya, Matty, Breggy, like making the 3 catchers with Valley, like there's just some really good defenders there. They make a lot of hits out. So.
Thank you.
Well, Ben Brown, that confidence is blooming. When I see him walking down the street in my head, I envision Kramer in the Technicolor Dreamcoat. That's what you call confident. Brady Johnson, always been a Ben Brown truther. We're going to have to go scour Brady Johnson's Twitter sphere and see if he's really been